Did you know that a recent study found that over 60% of adults have experienced some degree of intimacy issues in their relationships? That's a staggering number, and it highlights just how common these struggles truly are. Think about your own life for a moment. Have you ever felt that little flutter of anxiety when someone starts to get closer, emotionally or physically? That hesitation, that urge to pull back just when things are getting real? You're not alone. We're diving deep into the heart of intimacy fears, exploring the signs, the reasons, and most importantly, the path to building stronger, more connected relationships. When we talk about intimacy, we often think about physical closeness, but it's so much more than that. Intimacy encompasses emotional, mental, and even spiritual connections that go beyond mere physical touch. True intimacy requires vulnerability, the courage to let someone see our true selves, imperfections and all. It means sharing our deepest fears, dreams, and insecurities without the fear of being judged. And that can be terrifying. The thought of exposing our innermost selves can make us feel incredibly anxious and fearful. We build walls, not to keep others out, but to protect ourselves from the potential pain of rejection, judgment, or heartbreak. These walls serve as a shield, a barrier that we believe will keep us safe. And maybe you've been hurt in the past, or you witnessed vulnerability being met with criticism when you were growing up. These experiences can shape our perception of intimacy and make us wary of opening up. Whatever the reason, these experiences can leave deep scars that make intimacy feel risky. The fear of being hurt again can be overwhelming. The fear might manifest as difficulty expressing your feelings, keeping people at arm's length, or even sabotaging relationships just as they're getting good. It's a way to avoid the potential pain of being vulnerable. It's a defense mechanism, a way to avoid potential pain. By keeping our distance, we believe we are protecting ourselves from future hurt. But here's the catch. Those walls we build to protect our hearts, they also keep out love, connection, and true belonging. We end up isolating ourselves from the very things we crave. One of the most common fears associated with intimacy is the fear of rejection. The idea that someone might not accept us for who we truly are can be paralyzing. It's the voice in our heads that whispers, "What if they don't really like the real me? Or what if I open up and get hurt?" These thoughts can prevent us from taking the leap of faith needed for deep connections. This fear can be paralyzing, preventing us from taking the necessary risks to build deep, meaningful connections. It can hold us back from experiencing the full spectrum of human relationships. Past traumas can also create significant barriers to intimacy. These traumatic experiences can leave us feeling vulnerable and exposed. Experiences like infidelity, betrayal, or abuse can make it incredibly challenging to trust again and allow ourselves to be vulnerable with another person. The fear of history repeating itself can be a powerful deterrent. These wounds run deep, and they often require time, healing, and professional support to navigate. Seeking help can be a crucial step in overcoming these barriers. The important thing to remember is that fear of vulnerability is normal. It's a natural human response to the possibility of pain and rejection. It's a human response to the possibility of pain. Acknowledging this fear is the first step towards overcoming it. But it doesn't have to control us. We have the power to challenge these fears and take steps towards building healthier relationships. By recognizing these fears and understanding their roots, we can begin to challenge them and create space for healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Embracing vulnerability can lead to deeper connections and a more authentic life. Now, let's delve into the fascinating world of attachment theory, a concept that has profound implications for our relationships and emotional well-being. Our early childhood experiences, particularly our relationships with our primary caregivers, shape our attachment styles, the blueprint for how we connect with others throughout our lives. These foundational interactions set the stage for our future emotional landscape. If you had caregivers who were consistently responsive and attuned to your needs, you likely developed a secure attachment style. This means you feel safe and supported, allowing you to explore the world with confidence. Secure individuals are comfortable with intimacy, trust easily, and feel worthy of love and connection. They tend to have healthier, more satisfying relationships because they can balance closeness and independence. However, if your early experiences were marked by inconsistency, neglect, or trauma, you may have developed an insecure attachment style, anxious, avoidant, or fearful. These styles can create challenges in forming and maintaining relationships. Anxious attachment often involves a fear of abandonment and a constant need for reassurance. This can lead to behaviors that are perceived as clingy or overly dependent. Those with an avoidant attachment style might appear independent and self-sufficient, but they often struggle with emotional closeness and may push others away. They value their autonomy to the point where intimacy feels threatening. And then there's fearful avoidant attachment, a mix of longing for connection and fearing vulnerability. This creates a push-pull dynamic that can be confusing and exhausting for both partners. Imagine this. Sarah, with an anxious attachment style, falls for someone new. She's excited but also terrified of being hurt, creating a whirlwind of emotions. She's excited but also terrified of being hurt. This fear can overshadow her joy, making her hypervigilant to any signs of rejection. She might become clingy, needing constant reassurance, which can inadvertently push her partner away. This creates a cycle of anxiety and distance. On the other hand, John, with an avoidant attachment style, might struggle to express his feelings. He values his independence and gets uncomfortable when things get too emotionally intense, often retreating to avoid vulnerability. He values his independence and gets uncomfortable when things get too emotionally intense. This can make it difficult for him to form deep, meaningful connections. Understanding your attachment style is like holding up a mirror to your relationship patterns. It helps you recognize the ways you might be unconsciously sabotaging your relationships or repeating unhealthy cycles. This awareness is the first step towards change. The good news is that attachment styles aren't set in stone. With awareness, self-compassion, and the right support, we can learn to build more secure and fulfilling connections. It's a journey of growth and healing. With awareness, self-compassion, and the right support, we can learn to build more secure and fulfilling connections. It's a journey of growth and healing, and it's never too late to start. Chapter 3: Breaking Free, the transformative power of overcoming intimacy fears. I'll never forget the day a woman named Emily shared her story in one of my workshops. Her voice trembled as she began, but there was a determination in her eyes that spoke volumes. For years, she struggled with deep-rooted intimacy fears stemming from a painful childhood. The scars of her past were etched deeply into her heart, making it hard for her to trust or open up to anyone. She built walls so high that she felt utterly alone, even in a room full of people. The isolation was suffocating, and the fear of being hurt again kept her from reaching out. But Emily was tired of living in the shadows of fear. She knew that if she didn't take action, she would remain trapped in her own emotional prison forever. She made a conscious decision to confront her demons, to chip away at those walls, brick by brick. It wasn't easy. Each step forward felt like a monumental effort, but she was determined to reclaim her life. It took therapy, vulnerability, hangovers, and countless moments of wanting to crawl back into her comfort zone. But slowly something shifted. She began to see glimmers of hope and possibility. She started taking small risks, like sharing her feelings with a trusted friend. These small acts of courage began to build her confidence. She began to challenge her negative self-talk, replacing it with self-compassion and acceptance. Meditation and self-reflection became her daily practices, helping her to stay grounded and focused. And as she leaned into vulnerability, she discovered a strength she never knew she possessed. Her confidence grew, and she started to see herself in a new light. Emily's story, like so many others I've witnessed, is a testament to the transformative power of facing our fears head-on. Her journey was a beacon of hope for others in the group. When we choose courage over comfort, we open ourselves up to a world of possibility. The horizon expands and we begin to see opportunities where there were once only obstacles. We learn that vulnerability, far from being a weakness, is the birthplace of love, joy, and true connection. It is through our openness that we find the deepest bonds. Overcoming intimacy fears is not about becoming fearless overnight. It's a gradual process, a journey of small, consistent steps. It's about learning to dance with fear, to acknowledge its presence without letting it control us. We learn to move with it rather than against it. It's about recognizing that vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but a measure of our courage. Each act of openness is a testament to our inner strength. The rewards of this journey are immeasurable. The connections we form, the love we experience, and the joy we find are beyond words. As we break down those walls, we create space for deeper, more authentic connections with ourselves and others. We begin to live more fully and authentically. We experience the joy of being truly seen and understood, and we discover the incredible strength that comes from embracing our whole selves. This is the true essence of intimacy. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. There are countless others who have walked this path and emerged stronger. There are resources available, people who understand, and a community ready to support you every step of the way. Together, we can overcome our fears and build a life filled with love and connection. Chapter 4, the takeaway, your roadmap to healthier relationships. So let's recap. We've explored the common signs of intimacy fears, delved into the psychological underpinnings of attachment styles, and witnessed the transformative power of overcoming these challenges. Here's the key takeaway. Intimacy issues are incredibly common, and they stem from a very human place, the desire to protect ourselves from pain. But by understanding the roots of these fears, recognizing our attachment patterns, and taking courageous steps toward vulnerability, we can break free from these limiting patterns and create relationships that are truly life-giving. Remember, healing and growth take time. Be patient with yourself, celebrate your progress, and don't hesitate to seek support when you need it. The journey toward deeper intimacy is an ongoing process, but it's a journey worth taking. Because at the end of the day, we all crave connection, belonging, and the deep fulfillment that comes from truly letting someone in. Chapter 5. Keep the conversation going. Now it's your turn. Share your thoughts, experiences, and questions in the comments below. Have you struggled with intimacy fears in your own life? What steps have you taken to overcome them? And if you're ready to dive deeper into the journey of emotional growth and building stronger relationships, be sure to check out my next video on topic of next video. Remember, we're all in this together. Outro, the courage to connect. We cultivate love and connection when we allow ourselves to be seen, truly seen for who we are. It takes courage to be vulnerable, to step into the arena of relationships with our whole hearts, knowing that we might get hurt. But I truly believe that vulnerability is not weakness. It's our greatest measure of courage. It's in the cracks, in the messy, imperfect spaces of our lives that the light gets in. And it's in those spaces that we discover the profound beauty of authentic connection. So, let's choose courage over comfort. Let's embrace our imperfections. And let's dare to live and love with our whole hearts.